down the rabbit hole pretty quick.
Okay, all right. So this is
Where I
going to be a
live.
test. This is going to be a test of the John 911 podcast. Those of you that have been following us on the last, I guess, two publications, one episode, we had a major technical malfunction. I take responsibility for it, and so we had lost Danny's track, and so we are changing around some how things are working and doing some testing. And so this is not going to be a full episode. This is just us chit chatting. And I guess the only way I could get Kraken to agree to do a recording is we have to promise not to talk about Nancy Pelosi's tits. We can only talk about Paige Spiranick's tits. So it's like that's totally fine. So did I say her name right?
My wife is going to walk in the bedroom because I'm not in the armory doing this. I'm just hanging out in my bedroom because I thought we were just going to bullshit for a bit.
That's
And
where
if
I'm
we
at
talk
home.
about Paige's tits too much, she's going to walk in the bedroom and want to know what I'm doing.
Okay, it's fine. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna have, I'm
So
gonna have, I'm gonna have to put my pants back on, I guess.
let's stop it. So just real quick. Kraken and I were talking earlier about I did some shooting today with I don't know when the videos will show up on the internet, but I did some shooting today with one of those little pocket rocket guns, a Smith and Wesson 442. Is that right? Is that what it's called? Kraken?
I thought it was a 447, but
I think it's a little
hammerless,
J,
right?
yeah, a little
Little
hammerless.
J frame.
It's a J frame, but it's lightweight and it's factory nickel.
Hmm.
And so it doesn't have, I don't know how old the gun is. I bought it a couple years ago, maybe even longer than a couple, from Shooter Supply. So it came in as a used gun. And the reason I brought it out is because when I bought the 351C, which is the 22 Magnum J frame, I mean, I will buy a quality pocket rocket. Like I'll still pick up at some point like a little itty bitty C camp or maybe a Robar gun if I run across one. It'll obviously be used, but but I shot that gun today and it was thumping the hell out of me with like 158 grain ball ammo. So, and Kraken's our big revolver guy, so he was telling me that I got to get bigger grips for it. So, I don't know. It
Bigger
was
grips
it.
or just jump up to like a 3-inch K frame.
Yeah.
Because you're a bigger
I
guy, so you could conceal a 3-inch K frame really nicely.
Yeah, I can't remember. I took a class. It's on the website. I mean, people can look it up. I took a class. I don't know. It's been a while now, but it was with Ed Lovett. It was a snubby revolver class. It was Ed Lovett was teaching it. Greg Elfritz was the assistant teaching it, and some guy named Betancourt was teaching it. And I borrowed a gun from Freeze's father to even take the class, and that might have been an L frame. Is that right? Does that sound, or is that bigger than what it was?
The L frame is the mid size, so it would be the next size up from the K. So it would go J would be the smallest.
Mhm.
K is the next size up, which would have been the frame size for your basic duty gun in the 70s and early 80s, 1966s. L frame came out, and that would be your 586, 686. Uh, they're like what I call a medium large frame, and then end frame is your big stuff, your 41 mag, your 44 mag, your Model 27 Highway Patrolman, the the big frames, the end frames.
Yeah, it was the. I just looked it up off the website. I guess I took it. Damn, I guess it was 8 years ago. Um, and it was a Smith and Wesson. The gun I borrowed was a Smith and Wesson 64-4
K frame.
K frame, and
Yep.
it was a six shot and a 2-inch snubby, and it has a bobbed hammer. It's a nice gun, and I thought that was about the perfect size snubby for me because I could. I mean, I was running circles around people with that gun in that class.
Yeah.
So
A 2 or 3 inch K frame is a perfect carry gun.
okay, well, that's what'll obviously the that 442 gun I bought it because it was an opportunity to buy it. It was used, and
Hmm.
are those 442 nickel plated guns? Are they considered desirable or collectible or rare? Do you
Uh,
know?
Somewhat rare. the thing that's going to make that a nice piece is it's pre-Hillary hole, and
Hillary Hole.
that's probably early '80s production because it's still got the squared cylinder release, and it
Oh, okay.
looks like the emblem's missing out of it, but it looks like it's got a set of packies on it for grips.
Oh, did those have an emblem? Because it just has there's a rusty screw in the grip.
Yeah, there should be the gold Packmar emblem that probably
Oh,
popped out of there and nobody put back in.
well, I may have to go hunt one of those then. Okay, so Danny, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm along for the ride. I'm fine. I'm on the short bus. I'm ready.
No, we're here. Actually, we're here to test your feed. So I gotta get a track with you on it. Um,
Well,
so I guess we can't talk about Kraken can't actually say anything. But do you want to talk about Nancy Mace being available now? She's apparently not getting married or whatever it is.
no. I want to talk about you get me up at 7:30 this morning on a full term rant. Oh, jeez.
That was
No, it
yesterday.
was
That
again
wasn't
today. Check our text. Yeah, today again you did. You do it so
today.
often. Yeah, go ahead. I'll just be your whipping post bitch. It don't matter. I mean,
Let me
Marky
see.
doesn't understand time zones. I don't set my clock anymore because I always get a
well,
text about
he's an
7:30
hour
a.m.
ahead.
from him.
He's an hour ahead of me,
Yeah.
and he starts off nicely by sending me a link, and then as soon as I answer, there's the
Oh,
floodgates.
wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. What time was it? That's 11 a.m. Hold on. Hold on. We were going round and round about the Supreme Court.
Yes, we were.
God, we were going like this, like pages.
Were you
Hold
driving
on.
and were you driving and speak texting?
No.
Oh, you were at home.
I'm sitting where I'm sitting right now. Hold on. Is this Haley? What was the link I sent you?
Oh, I'd have to go off of this. I'm not going to. It was just look for this morning. There's like 400 texts that you and I traded today, all negative. But you found time to send that picture that the one of our listeners sent in.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But so it
Uh
was way above that. It was this morning.
oh shit, 9:30 my time. So that would be 8:30 you.
It
Nine.
was.
So actually, yeah. So you had texted me. The last message I got from you last night was 11:16 p.m. And then I texted you at 9:19 this morning, which I guess would be 8:19 your time.
Yeah,
So
and I had just oiled up the saran wrap, ready for the action.
All right then.
Then I
you're
woke
like,
up from my
don't.
dream.
Oh,
Mrs. Danny said, you know, she goes, "Is that fucking Marky again?" And I said, "Hang on, let me look." Yeah.
why don't you put your phone on Do Not Disturb or something?
Oh, because you might you might be having to send me something derogatory, and I don't want to miss
Okay.
it.
Okay. So, all right. It's my
Well, and
fault.
I can't because that's how I wake up in the morning. I don't need an alarm because right about 7:30 I get some type of news link from Marky, and that's how I wake up in the morning.
Yeah, and he knows
Sorry.
I'm just teasing with him. But when
Sorry.
I got to tell you, when Marky sends me a text, I purposely throw some off the wall answers to him because I know it's going to get him going. We even got into states' rights today. I mean, we got into everything. Started with his text, and I'm doing it a lot of the times just to keep him going. It's entertaining, maybe
I mean,
sadistic. I don't.
it's like I get these messages from the chief political correspondent, and I'm asking myself, am I taking crazy pills or is he having a stroke? What the hell is going on here? Like the stupid shit, you know? And I'm just like, does somebody have your phone? Like, what is this? So yeah,
No, it's having
Danny,
fun.
Danny always gets me early and it just sets me off like a landmine. Bam! In the morning, I'm like, what the fuck?
Well,
We'll have to do a group chat one of these mornings then, and we'll both wind him up.
oh my God. Well, and Marky, as you well know, I was on 24, 24/7 a day call. So when something goes off, I have to be alert, or used to have to be alert, and it's still in my system. It'll never come out
Yeah.
of it. You know what I mean?
It
So when my
I did
text
that
goes
for
off,
19 years. So yeah, it probably took me 6 or 7 years to
to
get
learn how
off
to
of like
sleep.
a
I
yeah,
know.
to learn how to and like get off a third shift schedule and like just to get yeah, it took me
Yeah,
for a long
I
time.
I remember I did it for 32. So I'm still coming down. You know what I mean? So it's like it, when I hear a chime, a phone ring, or a ding, boom, I'm bright eyed and bushy tailed. I've always been that
Yeah.
way. I
So so because you always did the snow stuff and that's always got to be crazy hours. So when a snowstorm is coming in or it starts snowing, do you get antsy still thinking like I got to get out there, got to get out there? Or are you beyond that now?
I used to, and used to care, about the safety of the motoring public, to this and that, and bust your ass. But then after a while, with the government job, you just do your 8 and skate. You can only do what you can do because it's totally out of your hands. You know what I mean? There's really nothing you could do. So it's like then when I transferred, over to the bridge crew side, it made it 1,000 times better. But I was still on call all the time.
All I know is since you left the road and doing the trucks and everything, the amount of World Star videos showing people getting buried by snow on sidewalks like dropped like by like
Oh, it did.
90%.
I was
And
the
I think
mailbox. I had a rural route, and I was the mailbox king. They used to put any kind of defense in front of their rural mailbox that they could. I mean, lawnmowers, snow shovels, kids. Whenever they hear me coming, it was it's. I once got about 8 of them down one 2 mile stretch.
so
That
do you
wake.
hit it?
No, the wake of the snow. It has to go somewhere, and on a rural route, Kraken, you'll understand this. It's like, okay, I come over the crest of a hill. I look down. All you see is giant fields of snow. Well, there's a road in there somewhere. So I used to have to gauge 10 feet from a phone pole, hope I didn't go in a ditch. I'd plow about 25 feet forward and then back up, and then hope I find a yellow line, a striped white line, or something. Then I would have to adjust to where I was. I mean, it looked like a snake the first pass before I was able to find out where I was.
You know what? I never thought about it like that, but yeah, you're literally just in certain conditions, if it's all the same level and the
It,
snow's deep
it,
enough, you
that's
can't
a
tell the grass from the road.
Well, that's why you would have to gauge like 10 to 12 feet from a phone pole, and as the phone pole's curved around with the pattern of the road, you would curve with them. But I did more backing up on the rural routes trying to find out where the hell the pavement was, because those ditches are deep out in farmland.
Oh yeah, they are. So that brings up a question. So we're doing all this construction at the John 1911 range. They will probably the county. I haven't decided if I'm going to acquiesce to it or not. Because we don't even have an address marker up. Like 911 wanted to put an address up. They called, and I was like, I just never called them back. And I'm like, every fucking emergency services out there knows where the range is. They shoot there. Like if somebody gets shot, we need an ambulance to come to the property. Like they know right now how to get there.
Well,
Um,
well, I can
but
tell
they
you
ne-
right now who will come out and put up a free one with your 911 number on it is the fire department. Just call the fire
Yeah,
department.
the county, the 911 center called. They wanted to put it up, and it was for free. But I was just like, I don't want to put that up.
You
But now that we have a driveway to actually get onto the property, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like we're gonna
Yeah.
have a building there. We might get deliveries. Like, so it's like I'm probably gonna. But it brings up the issue. I may have to put a mailbox up, and that's definitely rural country road. So is there a type of mailbox, or if you knowing who you are, and you were going to put a mailbox up, how would you do it, or what would you buy, or what would you do to make it better?
I'd drop about an 8 foot case on and reinforce that fucker like you've never seen if I was plowing that road. No, no. What you want to do is the regular 4x4 post. You know, they don't last on rural routes, so they make some really nice concrete ones already preformed that usually don't knock over. Always remember, never get one with a mailbox that screws to the top of any kind of support. You get one where the mailbox is already in the support, a cave style. That
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about? That way it won't
yeah.
go flying off in the winter.
Okay, that's okay. That's well, I don't know if I want to but that's definitely if I have to do it,
Can you do a
or
P.O. box in the closest town?
yeah, that's typically what we would do.
Yeah,
We do
yeah,
all
get a
kinds of mail
PO
stuff.
box.
Yeah, but I mean,
You got
is
one now.
yeah, I mean, why we have multiple PO boxes. So, but we're doing all these changes and moving everything, so all this is in flux. And so, there was even some debate as to whether maybe even setting some stuff up out at John Knight's and Range. It's like, well, I'd have to get a box out there. It's like, I mean, I could put one in town, but I don't know. I was like, well, it's like, well, it's like because I was like, oh, I never want to I never wanted to put an address thing up, and it's like you start noticing out there, it's way out there, and there's no grocery stores nearby. There's a few small little stores within 5 or 6 like 4 miles is the closest little like convenience store. Um,
Now you know why when you tap the power company to run your 200 amp service, why it's going to cost so much, because that's
yeah,
a
well,
lot of
yeah,
footage.
yeah, and but it's like I noticed a couple years ago, Kroger. I don't know if you have Kroger's up there in Chicago.
Yes, we
Kroger
do.
does. They do the food. They're actually based here in Cincinnati. They do the food deliveries with their special trucks like Amazon, but they
Right.
deliver groceries, and it's like son of a bitch. Like I mean, this one Kroger, I see it almost every time I'm out there. If I'm up front by the road, this Kroger truck has to be driving 15 miles, like to deliver food out there, and it's like, well, hell, now that we're going to have the facilities, maybe I want them to deliver food and supplies out there. It's like, well, I'm probably going to need an address if we do that,
Well,
so.
if you really want some entertainment, wait for a nice snowstorm and then order a pizza and watch the kid in an 8-year-old Kia try to make it up your road. And that is entertainment to beat any. Trust me on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Until the snowplow comes and knocks him into a ditch. All right. So, well, is there anything else we need to cover? Or I think, if this is going to record, I mean, we'll pretty much, I'll be able to tell here's something else I want to add. So we were going to do the end of year. We were going to do the end of year Q&A, and I have a bunch of questions. And it's Saturday. I was going to do it today, but the thing is, I can't record that until I know for certain that everybody's being recorded. So
Right.
we may not actually get to do the end of year Q&A until
Next week.
next week, until after
Uh,
the holidays.
don't
So
forget, Marky, one day next week, you and I are tied up.
I know, I know, I
All
know.
right.
Well,
So don't
yeah.
plan it for that day.
Well, I got news for you. So I'm doing that with you next week, and then a couple weeks after that, I'm doing the same thing with Kraken. So yeah,
Really?
yeah.
What,
So
the same week?
no, it's a couple weeks. It's a couple weeks. It's a couple weeks later, I think. Right, Kraken? We're
Yeah,
gonna
I
have
gotta
dinner.
I gotta go to Nashville the week of the 15th for business, so I'm just gonna go north and hook a right when I'm done at the end of the week and swing by.
That's
Yeah.
all you need to
So
do. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
trust me, Kraken. The tri-state area is beautiful. I mean, it's really, if you've never been there, it's really, 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 really nice. I mean, I like it a lot, a lot.
hmm
It's really nice. Very, very, very nice.
I
Yeah, it'll
mean,
be fun.
I mean, compared to Chicago, like, yeah, of course it is. I mean, Kraken
Oh,
lives.
real quick,
Kraken
real.
lives basically on the equivalent of like Ruby Ridge out in Nebraska. Like he
Well,
can,
you know,
he can see the U.S. Marshals coming from like 5 miles away from his house.
did you? Well, real quick, I with I don't know, with so much glee, I listened to the news channel locally today. The mayor of Chicago, the sanctuary city, and I see New York also, is begging the federal government for more help. And it's so bad of these buses from Texas dropping off the migrants that
Mm-hmm.
Chicago now has a ban to any bus that is coming in from out of state must register with the city of Chicago, and they'll tell you if you could unload or not. So what are they doing? They're dropping them off on the city limits of Chicago and a lot of affluent suburbs. It is a
Mm-hmm.
recipe for disaster.
Oh yeah, it's and think about like Arizona and Texas, and really Southern California have been dealing with this for decades.
Really.
Decades, yeah. I mean, they've been dealing with it. I mean, that's they just been getting swamped by this stuff for a while. There was something that was making the rounds yesterday. One of the border crossings in Texas, they were showing videos of vehicles, large trucks were just blowing through. They had overrun the border. Did that make
Wow.
the news? Or
I
was that even a real video? Huh? What Kraken?
I didn't see it, but I was kind of out of pocket news wise for a good chunk of yesterday.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was real, so I
I'm
don't.
really I'm really surprised at that Eagle Pass, Texas, where the big migrant movement is coming to, that the governor of Texas has not ordered out the National Guard.
I
I'm
mean,
really surprised at
I
that.
think the video that I'm referring to is that Eagle Pass crossing where they literally rammed through. Because it's a holiday weekend, or it's holidays and they're limited staff, and they were literally blowing right through,
Did
truck
you
after truck after truck.
did you see the video of how many are in that caravan approaching the border?
No, I don't know the
It's
specifics of the
insane.
caravan. I don't.
Thousands.
Yeah, I mean,
The migrant caravan.
yeah,
There's
we're
thousands and
yeah.
thousands and thousands in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be Donald Trump's going to have his work cut out for him if he gets elected.
You think?
So they're going to have to. I mean, we're going to have to start. People commit crimes. They're going to have to get deported. So I mean, it's
Well,
just
both
no.
of you guys have a wonderful, wonderful New Year's, and to all our listeners, we did our sound test. It sounds really good to me.
It does.
Yeah.
So you guys have a wonderful new year, and 2024 is going to be a good year for John 1911, and hopefully a good year
Hopefully,
for
you'll make a
America.
resolution not to get Danny out of bed at 8 o'clock.
Wouldn't you? Why don't you get up and quit sleeping all day, you hippie?
Because I told you I was all oiled up in saran wrap, ready to do it.
Okay. Okay. Mrs.
Kraken, if you ever seen
Mrs.
There is
Kraken,
some
if you
more
ever seen
therapy I'm gonna have to get.
no, if you ever seen me or seen Mrs. Danny, you'll just look at us and wonder how the hell.
There
am
is
I
a
am
there
I
is a
kidding, Marky, or not?
no, there is a big size difference between these two. So she's a
Well,
petite little woman.
my
She's a
ex
petite.
wife my ex wife was a 4 foot 10 inch Korean, and I'm pushing 6'1".
Okay.
Well,
So
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I mean, pretty close. That's about the same thing. So.
yeah, it's very much
Yeah.
so the same
I
thing.
mean, dude. I mean, Kraken. If your wife had been any shorter, she'd have been an extra on Game of Thrones. So, all right, we're gonna wrap this one. We're gonna wrap this one up.
I
If it,
love you long time.
I'm not
We
even. You know what? I'm not even gonna
trim
do a
some
normal.
pubes and glue them to her face and call her Tyrion.
All
Spit him
right.
like a top.
You guys have a good night. I'll talk to you
All
soon.
right. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.